Are you an older man being pressured to move in with your kids or feeling guilty about wanting your own space? In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 9 research-backed reasons why living independently after 60 might be the healthiest choice you can make for your physical health, mental well-being, and family relationships. Stay until reason number 7. Because it reveals the surprising connection between living alone and cognitive health that researchers at Harvard Medical School discovered, and it completely contradicts what most families believe about aging parents. Frank from Cleveland moved in with his daughter's family at 67, thinking it was the right decision. Within 8 months, his blood pressure spiked, he felt constantly stressed, and his relationship with his daughter was strained. After moving into his own apartment nearby, his health markers improved, and ironically, his relationship with his family became closer than ever. If this video confirms what you've been feeling but couldn't quite articulate, hit that like button so more men over 60 can discover these important truths. Drop a comment telling me which of these 9 reasons resonates most with you. Your experience might help another man make this difficult but important decision. And please share this video with any man over 60 who's struggling with pressure to give up his independence. Because sometimes the most helpful thing is knowing you're not alone in wanting to maintain control of your own life. Reason 1. Autonomy and personal freedom. Why do so many older men report feeling like they've lost themselves after moving in with family? The answer lies in something psychologists call autonomy, the fundamental human need to make your own choices and control your daily life. According to research published by the American Psychological Association, autonomy is directly linked to psychological well-being and longevity in seniors. Studies from Stanford University show that men over 60 who maintain independent living arrangements report significantly higher life satisfaction scores and lower rates of depression compared to those living with adult children. This isn't about being stubborn or difficult. It's about maintaining the sense of self that you've built over 6 or 7 decades of life. The loss of control over simple daily decisions creates chronic stress that measurably impacts your physical health, not just your mood. When you can't decide when to eat breakfast, what to watch on television, when to have friends over, or how to spend your afternoon, the cumulative loss of control creates a sense of helplessness. Research from the University of Rochester shows this perceived lack of control triggers the same stress responses in your body as major life threats. Your cortisol levels rise, your blood pressure increases, and your immune function weakens. It's not dramatic or sudden, it's a slow erosion that happens day after day, meal after meal, decision after decision that's no longer yours to make. You might think these small things don't matter, but your body knows differently. Every time you defer to someone else's preferences in your own living space, your brain registers a loss of agency. If you're considering living arrangements right now, prioritize options that preserve your ability to make daily decisions independently, even if that means a smaller place nearby rather than a larger room in someone else's home. Visit your family frequently, enjoy time with grandchildren, share meals together, but maintain your own space where you're the decision maker. Independence doesn't mean isolation. It means having a home base that's truly yours. Arthur, 69, from Tampa felt like a perpetual guest in his son's house, asking permission for everything from making coffee to adjusting the thermostat. After moving to a senior apartment 3 blocks away, he regained his confidence and actually saw his family more happily than when they lived under the same roof. Every day you spend without autonomy is a day you lose a piece of your identity. You spent your entire adult life making decisions, managing a household, and being in control of your environment. Don't sacrifice your independence for convenience or because others think it's what's best. Your mental health and sense of self are too valuable to surrender. Make this decision based on what preserves your autonomy, not what makes others feel less guilty about your living situation. Reason 2, reduced stress and better mental health. Could living with family be the hidden source of your anxiety, irritability, and sleepless nights? Research from the Mayo Clinic demonstrates that multi-generational living arrangements often create chronic stress for older adults due to conflicting schedules, different lifestyle expectations, and loss of privacy. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that older men living independently had cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone, 30% lower than those living with adult children. The National Institute of Mental Health confirms that chronic elevated cortisol contributes to cardiovascular disease, weakened immunity, cognitive decline, and accelerated aging. This isn't minor discomfort. This is measurable biological damage occurring in your body because your living environment keeps you in a constant state of low-level stress. Living in a busy household with grandchildren's noise, different meal schedules, constant activity and lack of quiet time keeps your stress hormones elevated continuously. Your body never gets to fully relax and restore itself. You might love your grandchildren dearly, but their energy levels and noise don't match your need for peace and routine. The television volume that seems normal to younger family members might feel overwhelming to you. The comings and goings at all hours disrupt your sleep. The constant presence of others means you're never truly at ease in your own space. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows that this type of chronic environmental stress damages your health as severely as smoking or poor diet, yet it's rarely discussed or taken seriously. Choose a living situation where you control your environment completely, the noise level, daily schedule, and amount of social interaction. You can always visit family when you want company and conversation, but you need a sanctuary where you can retreat and recharge in complete peace and quiet. This isn't antisocial, it's self-care. Your nervous system requires periods of genuine calm to function properly. Leonard, 72, from Portland, constantly felt on edge living with his daughter's young family, never getting a moment of true quiet. 6 months after moving into his own place, his doctor noted significant improvements in his blood pressure and reported anxiety symptoms had nearly disappeared. Chronic stress is silently damaging your body right now, increasing inflammation, disrupting your sleep, and weakening your immune system. Take control of your living situation before it takes a serious toll on your health. You deserve a home environment that supports your well-being rather than undermining it. Your health and longevity depend on managing stress effectively, and your living arrangement is one of the most significant stress factors you can control. Reason 3. Maintaining dignity and self-respect. How does it feel when your adult children treat you like a child who needs supervision rather than the capable man you still are? Psychological research from Johns Hopkins University shows that perceived loss of dignity and respect significantly impacts both mental health and physical health outcomes in older adults. When adult children become overly protective or controlling, it creates what gerontologists call learned helplessness, where capable seniors begin to doubt their own abilities and actually become less functional as a result. The American Geriatric Society emphasizes that maintaining dignity and respect in living arrangements is crucial for healthy aging. Your confidence, your sense of competence, and your self-worth are all directly affected by how others treat you and whether you're respected as a capable adult or managed like someone who can't be trusted with their own decisions. When family members constantly check on you, question your decisions, monitor what you eat, or treat you as fragile, you begin to internalize that message. You start doubting yourself, second-guessing choices you'd normally make confidently, and becoming increasingly dependent even when you're perfectly capable of independence. This psychological phenomenon has been extensively studied, and the results are clear. When you're treated as incompetent, you begin to act incompetent regardless of your actual abilities. The role you're assigned becomes the role you fulfill. If your family treats you like you can't manage your own life, eventually you'll struggle to manage your own life, not because you're incapable, but because constant undermining erodes confidence and capability. Live in a situation where you're treated as an equal adult, not a dependent child or a fragile patient. This might mean living alone in a senior community where everyone is treated with respect, or with a roommate who sees you as a peer. Anywhere you're respected for your capabilities rather than defined by your limitations or your age. Maintain activities that prove your competence to yourself and others, whether that's managing your finances, cooking your meals, or maintaining your living space. Russell, 68, from Austin, felt increasingly infantilized when his daughter monitored everything he ate and questioned every decision he made. After moving out, he proved to himself and his family that he was fully capable, dramatically improving their mutual respect and his self-confidence. Your self-worth and identity matter deeply to your overall health and happiness. Don't let well-meaning family members erode your confidence and independence through excessive caretaking. Stand up for your right to be treated as the capable adult you are. Your dignity isn't negotiable, and maintaining it is essential for maintaining your mental and physical health as you age. Respect yourself enough to insist on living arrangements that respect you. Reason 4. Better sleep. Quality and health routines. Are you sacrificing your health because someone else's schedule doesn't match your body's needs? The National Sleep Foundation reports that older adults require consistent sleep schedules and quiet environments for quality rest, yet multi-generational homes often completely disrupt these needs. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that men over 60 need 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep for optimal cardiovascular and cognitive health. Disrupted sleep patterns contribute to increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, dementia, and even early mortality. Sleep isn't a luxury or something you can catch up on later. It's when your body performs essential maintenance and repair. Living with young families often means noise at times that don't match your natural sleep-wake cycle, early morning disruptions on weekends, and household activity that prevents you from maintaining the consistent routine your body needs. When grandchildren wake you early on weekends, family activities keep you up late, or household noise interrupts your sleep. The cumulative sleep debt significantly impacts your immune function, mental clarity, and cardiovascular health. Studies from the Centers for Disease Control show that chronic sleep deprivation accelerates cognitive decline and increases your risk of serious health events. Your body has a natural circadian rhythm that becomes more rigid as you age, meaning disruptions have greater consequences than they did when you were younger. That ability you had at 30 to function on little sleep or irregular schedules simply doesn't exist at 65 or 70. Your brain needs consistent, high-quality sleep to clear out metabolic waste products that accumulate during the day. Proteins directly linked to Alzheimer's disease development. Prioritize a living arrangement where you control your sleep environment completely. The temperature, noise level, darkness, and schedule. Your sleep quality is too important to compromise for anyone else's routine or lifestyle. Set your bedtime when your body tells you to sleep, not when the household quiets down. Wake naturally when your body is rested, not when children get up for school. Maintain your own routines around meals, exercise, and rest. Edwin, 71, from Phoenix, never got adequate sleep in his son's busy household with school schedules and activities. After moving to a quiet apartment, his energy returned dramatically, and his doctor noted improved health markers within just 2 months. Quality sleep is non-negotiable for healthy aging, and it requires an environment you control completely. Take control of your sleep environment before chronic sleep deprivation causes irreversible damage to your brain and body. Every night of poor sleep accelerates your aging and increases your health risks. You've earned the right to sleep peacefully and wake refreshed. Don't sacrifice this fundamental health requirement for living arrangements that don't support your body's needs. Reason 5. Financial independence and control. Why should you have to ask permission or explain your spending when it's your money you earned over a lifetime of work. Economic research from the University of Michigan shows that financial autonomy is strongly correlated with overall life satisfaction in retirement. When older adults contribute to household expenses, but lack control over financial decisions, it creates deep resentment and feelings of powerlessness that damage both self-esteem and family relationships. The AARP reports that financial conflicts are among the top sources of tension in multi-generational households, often damaging family relationships permanently. Money represents more than just purchasing power. It represents freedom, independence, and the tangible results of decades of labor. When you lose control over your finances or feel you must justify your spending, you lose a fundamental expression of your autonomy and independence. When you have to justify buying something you want, contribute to expenses for choices you didn't make, or feel guilty about your spending, it robs you of the freedom you earned through decades of hard work and responsible financial planning. You might contribute significantly to a shared household, but have no say in major purchases, renovations, or how the money is spent. You might want to splurge on a hobby or gift, but feel you can't because you're living on someone else's terms. This financial dependency, even when you have adequate resources, creates a psychological burden that affects your well-being and sense of worth. You worked your entire adult life, saved responsibly, and planned for retirement. Why should you now need permission to spend what's yours? Maintain complete control over your finances by managing your own household. Budget for your own place, even if it's smaller or simpler, rather than contributing to someone else's home where you have no financial decision-making power. Keep your accounts separate and under your sole control. Spend on what brings you joy without explanation or guilt. Gerald, 74, from Dallas, contributed substantially to his son's household expenses, but felt he couldn't spend freely on his woodworking hobby. After getting his own apartment, he freely enjoyed his retirement savings without guilt, finally using the money he'd saved for exactly this purpose. Your financial freedom is part of your independence and dignity. Don't surrender control of money you worked your entire life to earn. Every purchase you have to justify or expense you contribute to unwillingly diminishes your autonomy. Take control of your financial life by taking control of your living situation. Your money should support your choices and priorities, not someone else's household decisions. Reason 6. Maintaining social life and relationships. When was the last time you had friends over without feeling like you needed permission or worrying about disrupting the household? Research from Harvard Medical School shows that maintaining active, diverse social connections is crucial for cognitive health and longevity in older adults. However, living with family often severely restricts social opportunities because you lack the freedom to host friends, join activities without coordinating schedules, or pursue romantic relationships if you're widowed or divorced. The Stanford Center on Longevity found that older adults living independently maintain significantly more diverse social networks than those living with family. Your social world shrinks, not because you want it to, but because the logistics and social dynamics of shared living make it complicated and awkward to maintain the friendships and activities that keep you engaged with life. When you can't easily have friends visit because you don't want to disturb the household, feel embarrassed to date because you're living with your children, or must coordinate your social life around family schedules and obligations, your social network inevitably shrinks. Friends stop calling because getting together is always complicated. You decline invitations because you feel tied to household routines. Potential romantic relationships never develop. Because where would you go? How would it work? This social isolation has profound health consequences. Research from the National Institute on Aging shows that social isolation and loneliness in seniors increases risk of premature death by 50%, comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Your friendships aren't optional extras, they're essential health maintenance. Choose a living situation where you can freely invite friends over, join senior activities without schedule conflicts, and even pursue romantic relationships if desired. Your social life shouldn't require family approval or complicated coordination. Have your poker buddies over without worrying about noise. Join the senior hiking group that meets Thursday mornings. Date if you want to date without feeling like a teenager sneaking around. Howard, 66, from Nashville, stopped seeing his lifelong friends when living with family made socializing complicated and awkward. His own apartment became a social hub, dramatically improving his mood and engagement with life within weeks. Your friendships and social connections are health essentials, as important as diet or exercise. Don't let living arrangements restrict the relationships that keep you vibrant, engaged, and mentally sharp. Every week that passes with diminished social contact is a week your brain and emotional health suffer. Take control of your social life by taking control of your living space. Your relationships deserve better than whatever scraps of time and space are left over in someone else's household. Reason 7. Cognitive health and mental stimulation. What if living independently is actually protecting your brain from cognitive decline? Surprising research from Harvard Medical School reveals that older adults living independently maintain better cognitive function than those living with family. The reason is fascinating and counterintuitive. Independent living requires constant problem-solving, decision-making, planning, and adaptation, all activities that keep your brain actively engaged and building new neural connections. Studies published in the Journal of Aging Research show that when family members take over tasks like cooking, shopping, bill paying, and schedule management to be helpful, seniors lose crucial mental exercise that protects against dementia. Your brain is like a muscle. It needs regular, varied exercise to maintain its strength and function. When others do your thinking for you, your cognitive abilities atrophy from disuse. When family members do everything for you because they want to help or think you can't manage, your brain loses the daily challenges it desperately needs to stay sharp. Meal planning and grocery shopping require memory, organization, and decision-making. Managing bills requires attention, calculation, and executive function. Maintaining a household requires problem-solving and adaptation. These aren't burdens to avoid, they're cognitive exercises that build and maintain neural pathways. Research from Johns Hopkins University shows that seniors who continue managing their own households show significantly slower rates of cognitive decline than those whose families have taken over these responsibilities. The mild stress of independence is protective, not harmful. Your brain needs to be challenged to stay healthy, just like your muscles need resistance to stay strong. Live independently as long as safely possible, maintaining full responsibility for your own cooking, cleaning, finances, and schedule. These daily tasks aren't drudgery, they're brain exercises that protect your cognitive health and independence. Don't let family members take over tasks you can still manage, even if it would be easier for them to do it. Embrace the mental challenge of running your own life. Norman, 73, from Minneapolis, noticed his memory and sharpness declining when his daughter's family handled all household management. After resuming independent living, the mental stimulation of managing daily tasks actually improved his cognitive function noticeably within months. Your brain needs the challenge of independence, like it needs oxygen. Don't let well-meaning help rob you of the mental exercise that keeps you sharp and prevents cognitive decline. Every task someone does for you that you could do yourself is a missed opportunity to exercise your brain. Maintain your independence, not despite the effort it requires, but because of it. Your cognitive health for the next 10, 20, or 30 years may depend on staying mentally active through the challenges of independent living. Reason 8. Privacy and personal space. Do you miss having a place where you can close the door and truly be alone with your thoughts? Environmental psychology research from the University of California demonstrates that personal space and privacy are fundamental human needs that become even more important with age. The American Psychological Association reports that lack of privacy is a significant stressor, contributing to irritability, anxiety, depression, and even physical health problems. Older adults need private space for personal reflection, intimacy if you have a partner, and simply being yourself without constant observation or awareness of others. Privacy allows you to process emotions, think deeply, engage in personal activities, and exist without performing for an audience. When you're always aware of others nearby, you can never fully relax into yourself. Without genuine privacy, you're always on, never fully relaxed, always aware of being observed or potentially interrupted, unable to pursue personal interests or simply exist without consideration of others watching or judging. Maybe you want to watch programs your family finds boring. Maybe you want to sing loudly or talk to yourself. Maybe you want to walk around in your underwear or have private phone conversations. Maybe you just want to sit in silence without anyone asking if you're okay or what you're thinking about. These aren't luxuries. They're basic human needs for autonomy and self-expression. The constant low-level awareness of others in your space creates a subtle but persistent stress that wears on your mental health over time. Ensure your living arrangement includes completely private space that's yours alone. Not just a bedroom in someone's house, but a place where you control who enters and when, where you can be completely yourself without filter or performance. Privacy means having space where you can close and lock the door, where you can make noise or mess without affecting others, where you can exist exactly as you are without consideration of anyone else. Stanley, 70, from Seattle, felt constantly observed and monitored in his daughter's home, never having a moment where he wasn't aware of others nearby. His own studio apartment gave him the privacy to read, think, cry, laugh, and relax without feeling watched. Privacy isn't selfish or antisocial, it's essential for mental health and emotional well-being. Claim your right to personal space before constant exposure to others damages your sense of self and peace of mind. Everyone needs a private sanctuary, and that need doesn't diminish with age, it intensifies. Take control of your living space so you can finally relax completely and be fully yourself. Your mental health requires space that's entirely yours, where you answer to no one and perform for no one. Reason 9, preserving family relationships. What if the best way to stay close to your family is actually to live apart from them? Family therapy research consistently shows that multi-generational living often damages relationships that would otherwise thrive. A study from the University of Michigan found that family conflict increases dramatically in shared living arrangements, while families who live separately but nearby report significantly higher relationship satisfaction and less resentment. The Mayo Clinic's research on family dynamics confirms that absence makes the heart grow fonder isn't just a saying, it's a psychological reality backed by solid research. When you see family because you want to rather than because you're stuck living together, the time you spend together is qualitatively different, more positive, more engaged, and more genuinely affectionate. Proximity breeds contempt when it's forced, but distance can create appreciation and fondness. Daily proximity magnifies minor irritations into major conflicts that poison relationships. The grandchildren's noise that seems adorable during Sunday visits becomes unbearable when it's constant background to your daily life. Different habits around cleanliness, meal times, television volume, and household routines create persistent friction and resentment. What should be cherished family time becomes obligatory coexistence that strains even the strongest relationships. Small annoyances that would be easily overlooked during visits become sources of significant tension when experienced daily. You start resenting each other over trivial things, and those resentments build into serious relationship damage. Clayton, 69, from Boston, and his son barely spoke to each other after 2 painful years of living together, the constant contact destroying what had been a close relationship. Separate apartments 3 blocks apart transformed their relationship almost immediately, making time together enjoyable and affectionate again. Live close enough to see family regularly, but separately enough that time together is chosen rather than forced. Schedule regular dinners, activities with grandchildren and family events, but maintain separate homes where everyone can retreat when needed. This isn't rejection. It's healthy boundaries that protect relationships from the corrosive effects of forced proximity. Visit frequently, help each other, share meals and celebrations, but do it from positions of independence where everyone has their own space to retreat to when needed. The most successful multi-generational family relationships maintain separate households with frequent chosen contact, not forced daily cohabitation. Your family relationships are too precious to risk on living arrangements that breed resentment and conflict. Sometimes the most loving choice is maintaining healthy boundaries through separate living that allows relationships to remain positive and affectionate. Don't let guilt or pressure push you into living situations that will ultimately damage the relationships you value most. Protect your family bonds by maintaining independence that allows you to miss each other, appreciate each other, and genuinely enjoy time together rather than enduring forced coexistence. You've just discovered the 9 powerful reasons why independent living after 60 might be your healthiest choice. Maintaining autonomy over your daily life, reducing chronic stress that damages your health, preserving your dignity and self-respect, protecting your sleep quality and routines, keeping financial control you earned, nurturing your social connections freely, protecting your cognitive health through daily challenges, claiming essential privacy, and strengthening family bonds through healthy distance. This isn't about rejecting family. It's about preserving your independence, health, and the relationships that matter most. Thousands of men over 60 have made this choice and found their health, happiness, and family relationships actually improved dramatically. You've worked your entire life, raised your family, and earned the right to live on your own terms. Whether it's a small apartment, a senior community, or a house nearby, what matters is that it's yours, a place where you make the decisions, control the environment, and remain the capable, independent man you've always been. The quality of your remaining years depends on choices you make now about how you want to live, not how others think you should live. Your independence isn't selfish, it's self-preservation, and you have every right to choose how you live your final decades. Knowledge without action changes nothing, but you have the power to make these changes starting today. Your future self will thank you for having the courage to choose independence.